Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors. Today we're going to talk about the Vitex. This is how you get them from Clinton Cotton. Beautiful tree. Look how nice this tree looks. I know it's small, but this is one tree that you cannot kill. I mean, I had the squirrel dig this out. I found it like 2 days later, my other plant. Stuck it in some good potting mix. Within a month, it sprouted. Believe it or not, it sprouted. Very good plant to grow. I got one in a nice little ceramic pot that I found. And you don't have to be fancy on your decorations. A little sand, a little soil mixed with sand, and some little gravel. And you got a little nice little decoration with a little rock on there. But before we start our Vitex, I'm going to show you how to mix the soil for it and a little bit about the Vitex. Right, the Vitex is a nice drought tolerant plant. It needs a well draining soil though, and it loves full sun, and it will grow in partial shade. The zones are 6 to 9, which is 0 to -5 degrees Fahrenheit. It responds well to heavy pruning, and it blooms spring through fall. Now, this plant will, once it blooms, it will form berries. Now you can save the little seed pods, the little berries on it, and get some more seeds for yourself to grow the Vitex. But if you want flowers, I would cut the seed pods off, because the flowers are the highlight of this plant, because it is a lavender flower, and the aroma smells almost like a lilac tree is in full bloom. Beautiful smell to it. But before we do anything, I'm going to show you how to mix some soil for it. Right now you can use, for those that you can't afford soil, you can just use the plain cactus mix. But what I like to do is take some sifted perlite and use that to break up the soil and give the roots something to move through. Now, perlite has a lot of fines in it, so you can get yourself, instead of buying them fancy screens that you sift the soil through and get the little particulates this size or that size, I don't go by that. I go to the dollar store, got me a nice strainer with about an 1/8 inch diameter hole, or you can go to any garage sale and you can find a little strainer, metal one I found, and all you do is, when you get your bag of perlite, stick some into your strainer, shake it over another bucket, let all the fines go into that, and then the solids, the nice consistent size particles, put it in a separate bucket, and you got it. What'd you do, spend $1 or 50 cents like I did? But it's cheap, it's easy, and you don't have to buy those fancy screens that cost you $24 to $30 a screen. Now, to do your cactus mix, I do a 1-to-1 ratio. What I'll do is I'll take a cup of the perlite and stick it into a little bucket, and then I'll take a cup of the cactus mix, get a good heaping cup full, and put that into the mix. And then just use your fingers and mix it up, just like you're mixing dough for a cake or cookies or bread, but just mix it. Get it good and mixed. And you can see the nice consistency of it. Beautiful soil, and this tree will love it. Now, if you have some beneficial bacteria, I got an organic root enhancer. It's from Extreme Gardening. It's called Mycos. It's a pure mycorrhizal inoculant. And what I'll do is just take, they give you a measuring spoon in there, but for this short amount, I'll take the smaller end of the scoop and put it in. That way there it'll put the bacteria around the roots, so it'll help the roots grow better, be more efficient, so to say. Mix it up real good. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Now if you want to make your own soil, your own bonsai mix, what I'll do is let's see, we can take some okay, I got it right here. No, I don't. Here it is. Take our cactus mix again. Get a nice cup full of it. Put it in. Then what I'd like to do is take some worm compost. You can get this at Home Depot or wherever else they sell fertilizer, but it's all worm castings. That's all it is. It's very easy on the roots, and it's beneficial. It gives it a nice slow release fertilizer, which isn't a lot, and it doesn't burn the roots. So what I'll do is I'll take, as I have some in here, I'll take a cup of it. Don't be afraid to smash up the compost, or you can use regular compost. Put it in. And then comes the good part. Get some more, get another cup of perlite. And then what I like to do is take a cup of sand, this regular sand, put it in, and get your hands dirty, just like baking a cake. Get all the lumps out, just stir, and you'll have a very nice consistency, very nice. And this will make a nice soil for your tree. And since I have a lot more in here than I have in the other pot, I'm going to take my beneficial bacteria, take the large size end of the scoop, put it in. And then you just mix. This is going to help your roots to grow real nice, because your roots is the life force of your plant. You've got strong roots, you got a strong plant. Just mix it. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Now, if you don't want to get your hands dirty, all you got to do is put a lid on your mixing bowl, whatever you're going to use, and just shake it. But I prefer getting my hands dirty. And here's what your soil is going to look like. A nice, well-draining soil. Nice and crumbly. Got some nice thick particles in there for help splitting up those little fine roots. And you'll have a nice, beautiful plant. So this is just the start of it. Now, this being a small plant, even though it's good for 0 to -5 degrees Fahrenheit, if this was in the ground in zone 6 to 9, it'll grow good. But since we're in this little pot, I'm going to overwinter it on a cold windowsill so it goes dormant. This way here, because since this pot is a ceramic pot, the cold will crack it. So you don't want to do that because it's a nice pot. So the best thing to do is overwinter it during the winter time, and come spring, come February, sun gets brighter. If it starts to grow, just move it into a warmer location or just leave it there, and it'll be nice. It'll grow real good. But these you have to overwinter in the house. And even though it likes full sun, I leave these in full sun, but if you do that in the spring and summertime, you have to water them at least 2-3 times a day, because this little pot will dry out. Even though this plant is drought tolerant, you don't want to dry this whole pot out completely, because then the sun will be so strong it'll make the roots die fast. So or if you want, just put it in partial shade and water it once a day. Get some morning sun, water it. Like I said, it'll be drought tolerant, so you'll be good. So in the next part 2, we're going to take this one apart, and we're going to clip it and plant it, because I had it outside. Last night it was 32 degrees, and we can clip it, let the roots grow, and we'll see how she turns out. We'll check out the roots. And I was going to put it in a rock in a little pot like this, but it's too big, so I'm going to have to find something smaller. So this pot, this dollar pot, will fit it perfect. You got your soil made. Everything's good to go. So next round, part 2, we're going to take this apart, check out the roots, trim it a little bit, and I'll show you how to do all that. So I wanted to give you the basics on making your own soil just for a fast draining soil. There's more I can do during the winter time. We'll just do the basics on soil planting, mixing. So you don't have to be fancy. If you can't afford it, I know we're all on a tight budget, use the cactus mix. And it's just as good for this plant. So I want to thank you for this short video on the soil for the Vitex. And remember, I don't endorse anybody, but Clint Cotton, I have to endorse, the crepe myrtle guy, because his plants never die on me. I mean, they're strong. You've seen the roots on the crepe myrtle. Well, we'll check the roots on this one, see how this one is. But I thank you for joining me on today's Friday night, today's dance night. Or if you want, just sit back and relax to some big band music. Get yourself a nice hot cup of tea, because today's colder. I don't know how it's going to get, but it's cold out there now. So take care of yourself. Dance with your wife or your partner, your girlfriend, and just have a good time tonight. And if you don't want to do it, sit back and relax. Drink some tea, listen to some music, and have a good night. I thank you for watching me.